Hey, it's Tom Miller with Remax Real Estate Group. Thanks again for tuning in. Today, Jebb Rich from Legacy Bank and I are going to be talking about the pre-approval process for getting a home mortgage and why it's important to do that prior to starting to shop for a home. So stay tuned. All right, well, welcome back, Jebb.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jebb has helped a number of our clients with purchasing their home from a lending perspective. And I thought it was really important. A lot of people don't necessarily understand the process and maybe kind of get going with fits and starts, start looking at some homes before they talk to anybody, and people can get a little frustrated. And so Jebb and I both feel very strongly about talking to a lender about getting pre-approved prior to going to shopping for a home, because nobody has very much time today, and you don't want to waste your time looking at homes that you can't afford. The other thing I always tell people is I'd hate to have you fall in love with a home that you can't buy. And that it's happened before, and everybody loses in that situation, and no home ever compares again. So Jebb, let's talk a little bit about the pre-approval process and talk to them about the kind of steps you go through, how long it might take, and some of the things they might need to make that happen.
Sure, Tom. So there's a variety of products that have come out, some of them really exciting as far as down payments are concerned. It's really important, I think, early in the process when you first start thinking about buying a house to get pre-approved for that purchase. We're going to make the process really easy for you. We can take applications over the phone. We've got an online application. We're always happy to meet with you here in person at the bank and answer any questions and go through an application. We're going to pull credit to determine where you fall in that product spectrum, and that's really what the scores are going to determine, what products you qualify for. And when I say products, I mean loan products, conventional, government FHA, USDA, or VA loans. Yep. We also do in-house loans. So there's a wide variety that require different amounts of money down to purchase the house.
Yep. So generally what you're going to do when you're working with somebody on a pre-qualification is you're going to figure out what kind of payment they want, and then you're going to look at how much are they going to need to put down to make that happen. And through that process, you're going to kind of back into a loan amount and what they can purchase for a home, right?
Absolutely. We'll have a conversation around what the comfort level is of that buyer and what they're looking for in a monthly payment, what they're comfortable paying.
Yep.
We'll also give them some ideas around here's what you could maximum qualify for. And in the event that if there's some challenges around credit or maybe some down payment issues where we're having trouble coming up, we'll set a game plan with them over a specific period of time, 90 days, 6 months, to get them pre-qualified around that, improving credit and or putting more money down.
Awesome. So let's just go through real fast the quick process. Say somebody picks up the phone and calls you and you answer. How does that go from there? How long does it take, and what do you need? We're
going to take an online or on phone application.
Yeah.
It'll take 10 or 15 minutes at the most. We're going to ask some pertinent questions around current address, job information, demographics, date of birth, social security number, etc. And then we're going to use that information to qualify that person off that.
Okay.
It's not really designed to be an underwriting per se, although if there's challenges around how we're going to document commissioned income, overtime.
If you're a 1099 employee,
absolutely.
Like if you have a job contract,
right.
You're not actually an employee of who you work for.
Right.
Yep.
We'll have a meaningful conversation around here's the documentation we're going to look for and determine whether we can provide that today or whether we're going to need to set that game plan up.
Yeah. You know, one thing that's come up for both of us, we've talked about this in the past, is if you own your own business and you're self-employed, how important is it to show some income and pay some taxes?
Very important, and certainly there's nothing against the law or illegal with taking all the deductions you're owed. Conversely, it's very difficult to qualify a borrower that's commissioned or self-employed.
Yep.
Without being able to show that income coming in. So yep. It's a double-edged sword.
Yep.
And again, we can document that to a certain degree, but in some instances we have to put together a game plan as to how we're going to document that going forward over the next year, yep. Or in some cases 2.
Yep, absolutely. So any other thoughts on just the pre-approval process and
I'd like to echo your sentiments. I talk to a lot of borrowers that come in, or some borrowers that come in that have got their hopes set on a certain particular house. We certainly want you to get the house of your dreams, but it's very difficult from a back-end standpoint to try to pre-qualify someone based upon what the price was before we do our due diligence and do the verification process.
Yep.
So again, we're going to make it easy. We're going to make it, your time is valuable. We're going to honor that, respect that, and make sure that you go through the process and know what really you can afford and what you're comfortable with.
Awesome. So, and one last note on the pre-approval process. I always, when I sit down with somebody that wants to buy a home, I generally try to sit down with them, have a cup of coffee, and talk to them about the mortgage process a little bit, and then get them introduced to a lender, usually Jebb. One of the things I encourage people to do, if you have any kind of credit issues in your background, we're not judging you, but at some point through the process, an underwriter is going to judge you. And it's really important. How important is it to put that on the table at that pre-approval time? Even if it was 10 years ago, how important is it to put that on the table?
It's important time to have a discussion around any potential challenges we're going to see. Most of the time it's going to show up in on a credit bureau. Some of the time it's not going to show up on a credit bureau, but it will show up on a title search that we're going to do on a borrower. So it's way better to have a conversation with your realtor and with your lender around challenges that it's going to come up.
Yeah,
so we might as well address it, talk about it. Again, we're not here, as Tom mentions, we're not here to judge, but we are here to use our experience.
We want to help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How we're going to structure that loan, that purchase transaction, so you get that home of your dreams.
Absolutely. Great. So Jebb, thanks again for coming on today. How can folks get a hold of you if they're thinking about getting pre-approved?
Absolutely, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
They can reach me here at the bank at 515-276-7010 or my email, jrich@banklegacy.com.
All right. Well, I hope that was some good information on the importance of getting pre-approved and a little bit about the process. Again, if you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me directly, or you can contact Jebb Rich at Legacy Bank here. He'd love to talk to you. So thanks again. Be sure to stay tuned for my next video coming out in the next couple weeks, and be sure to hit subscribe below. So thanks again, and see you soon.